What I want to say is, on season 4, my show started late, and that's what the press was about.
Yes, I'm gonna.
Now this show is starting late. Now I've been in fashion for a while, and I've seen a lot of shows start late. But there's no slowing us down now. We have nothing to lose, and only everything to gain. And I don't want any of y'all to talk to me about pain.
So it's a new innovative way of, I guess, unveiling the new fashion that Kanye West got. He's back doing what he's doing. As you saw the shirt that he's wearing and the writing on the back. But not only that, he had a surprise guest. By the way, this is his fashion show for Yeezy season 9. And it features his White Lives Matter sweater that he was wearing, as you saw there. But again, like I said, he needed a little bit of star power to punch with it. So here's this tweet from Rap TV pointed out this one thing. They have different color schemes, but they're definitely sporting. He and his best friend Candace Owens. Let's check out this tweet. Advertising, pushing. Because White Lives Matter is definitely something that we have to fight for in this country because no one ever recognizes that. Also, the models sported the look as well. I guess it's gonna be on all the shelves everywhere. Or maybe it's definitely not gonna be in Gap. That whole thing fell apart. Here's some of Kanye's intention in doing this, I think. Here's the explanation. There's just people from the same planet. And sometimes in high school, it feels like we don't fit in. And in a situation like this, we have the opportunity to come together to express who we are. That's what Kanye told Vogue about his vision for this runway show ahead of it. Social media reaction to it was what you could probably imagine. Some people said, sending a White Lives Matter t-shirt down a runway in Paris is literally insanity, and no amount of gospel is getting that man through heaven's gate. I'm so sorry is what one person tweeted. Another wrote, mind you, Kanye was just calling Kim and Chris the KKK 2 weeks ago, and now he's wearing a White Lives Matter shirt. Good point there. Here's one more. Here's a tweet from Kanye. I'm sorry, this is on his Instagram page. He goes, everyone knows that Black Lives Matter was a scam. Now it's over. You're welcome. So Kanye's back on what he's trying to do. And many people who are defending him, even if they don't agree with this approach, are going, you guys just don't get it. He's playing 3-dimensional chess. He's making his money. You guys should probably get on his level because he's helping the community. I saw all these things in some of the comments, and one person asked one question to all these people and said, name me one person in the community who's helping with this. And it was crickets. So Kanye's back on it. Is it genius, Jackson, or is it more of the same?
Well, what's so interesting, well, I don't know if interesting is the right word, but the thing about Kanye is that he's incredibly unsophisticated when he talks about things and when he tries to put on shows, because underneath it all, he's just being provocative on top of he's not well. I mean, this is a man who has literally said that he doesn't read because he's never met a book that he wanted its autograph, which that was years ago when he said that. And it reflects that this man really doesn't read because again, White Lives Matter is just a petty, direct, like FU to the Black Lives Matter movement. Even, even if like the people who started the Black Lives Matter movement, did things illicitly with the funds, that still doesn't have anything to do with the movement itself and what it was supposed to be on top of White Lives Matter, as you pointed out. Like it's unnecessary. So for a black man who's one of the most famous people on the planet to wear this shirt and be like, you're welcome. Like, why, Kanye? Why are you welcome? Do you have anything more to add? Do you have anything more to say? No, of course not. Why? Because he's unsophisticated and he doesn't know what he's talking about. But because he's so famous, we have to watch it. And people can say, well, why don't you just not talk about it? He's too famous. You can't just not talk about it. And the reality is that he's being used by all these right-wing white people. You know what I'm saying? Like you're just bleeding and losing your black support, your family, your people. Don't mess with you. And the ones left are just goofballs who say things like, we need to bring God back to our schools, as if we don't have private schools all over the place in this country that you can take your pick from, as if God's schools aren't already there. So it's just I don't feel sorry for him. How can you? He's extremely wealthy. He can help himself, but he doesn't. So it's like, okay, well, if you're going to continue to make a fool of yourself, then we're going to talk about it, and your legacy is going to continue to go down the drain.
People always say, don't talk about these people. You're giving them exactly what they want. It's what he's asking for. Don't serve him what he's trying to give you. But you know what? It's one of those things. People always said before, if you don't talk to your kids, not that there's a kid situation, but if you don't talk to your kids about sex, someone else is going to, right? So if someone else is pumping poison like this into the atmosphere and into society, you have to go, well, that's BS. Let me tell you why. It's okay to say that because it's not like he's being ignored just because I don't ignore him. He's definitely getting some traction, people listening to him, but the folks that he's appealing to, if we're talking about him selling records or clothes, they ain't buying that stuff. They're using him for their own purposes. Let's go to this last tweet that he had, because not from him, but from Papa Babel was pointing out what he else done in the past, draping himself in the Confederate flag. He went and saw Donald Trump wearing a MAGA hat. He went, I think he was in the TMZ offices when he said that slavery was a choice. All that stuff that he's pushing, it's a part of his identity and his thought process. And the reason why he's connected and he loved Donald Trump so much is because they both think the same way. As you pointed out, there's this odd connection to, if it's not celebrity enough for me, if it's not the biggest thing, if I'm not becoming the biggest name in entertainment or whatever it is they wanna be, they're not interested in it. That's their entire motivation. The Maggie Haberman book that's coming out, I think at one point she quoted it, said that Donald Trump, one of his biggest motivations for running for the president of the United States, a political position, is so that it's the best vehicle for more fame. Fame is the whole point about this entire thing. I guess he's getting it.
But it's like you're about to be 50, man.
Yeah, man.
Like you're about to be 50. It's like this, you're just driving yourself into a deep dark hole. That's it. You know, like how many more crazy hot albums can you really put out before you're 55? And it's like, it's just not the same. You know,
people are buying it before you start doing this disgusting.
Yeah.